Hi, good day, and welcome to my tutorial on how to simplify fractions. All right, so my aim here today is to show you all the different types of questions that I think could come in a CXC maths exam. Right, so let's jump straight into it. Here we have 3.5 minus 2 and 3/5. So if you notice right away, we have mixed fractions. I strongly recommend that you don't work with mixed fractions. Instead, work with improper fractions. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to convert everyone to an improper fraction. 3 by 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, and we're going to divide it by the 2, minus 2 by 5 is 10. 10 plus 3 is 13. All right. So over here, we have just converted everyone from a mixed fraction to an improper fraction. Right. So next thing we're going to do, just like they taught you in primary school, when you have fractions and you're adding or minusing them, the next step is usually to find the LCM of the denominators. So 2 and 5, the LCM is obviously 10. So 2 into 10 is 5. 5 by 7 is 35. 5 into 10 is 2. 2 by 13 is 26. And what we do here, well, we're required to minus the top. So 35 minus 26 will give us 9, and our denominator is 10. So that's our final answer for this question. Now, to be honest, I would never, if I was setting an exam, I would never bring a question easy like this one. Let's try a slightly harder question. I'm going to build you up to a really complex question at the end of the day. And then I'm going to show you why it's so important sometimes to simplify a fraction. So let's try question 2. Remember, when you're doing these questions, just don't watch me do it. Get a pen, a paper, a calculator, and work the questions with me. So let's try a harder one here. Let's say we have 4 and 2/5 minus 3. Let's make it interesting. 3/8, and then we are going to divide it by 1 and 2/3. All right, so you notice the immediate difference between this question and the last question. This question has a whole part on top and a part underneath. Now, whenever there's a part on top and a part underneath, don't work the whole thing. Don't try to work the whole thing as one question. What we're going to do, block off the underneath, and we are going to call that the top. And we're going to simplify the top as best as we can, and then we're going to simplify the underneath as much as we can. And then, when we simplify the top, and we simplify the underneath, then we divide the top by the underneath. So on the board here, well, I have already laid it out. This here is the top part. So first things first, I'm not going to work with mixed fractions. He is okay. He's just a normal fraction, but he's a mixed fraction. Work with improper fractions. So 4 by 5 is 20, plus 2 is 22, and don't forget the 5. And then we're going to minus 3/8. You notice I'm only concentrating on the top part. So forget about the underneath. Let's work out this. The LCM of 5 and 8 is 40, right? So, by the way, let's say you're really not good at finding the LCM. Here's a little tip. If you are having trouble finding the LCM, you just take the two denominators and multiply them. 5 multiplied by 8, 8 5s are 40. Now, let's say that when you multiply these two numbers, you got a number and somebody says, hey, that number is not the LCM. Did you know that even if you didn't put the LCM underneath here, you would still get the correct answer? All right, so that's a little tip, just in case you're finding the LCM and you're rushing for time in the exam. Just take the two denominators and multiply them. So 5 into 40, that means 40 divided by 5. So 5 into 40 is 8. The answer we get, 8, we have to multiply it by 22. So I'm going to take 8 and multiply by 22. That will give me 176 minus 8 into 40 is 5. 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. So we're going to minus the two terms. 176 minus 15 will give me 161, and we still have to divide it by 40. So we just simplify the whole top. And the top answer, when we simplify it, is 161 divided by 40. Now, the underneath in today's question doesn't really have much to simplify. I'm not going to put that inside there because there's nothing. I'm not going to simplify the underneath in a separate section because there's nothing really to simplify except this is a mixed fraction. Let's convert it to improper fraction. 1 by 3 is 3 plus 2 is 5. So the underneath is 5 divided by 3. All right. So here's what we're going to do now. We are going to take the top answer and divide it by the underneath answer. Now there's another way to write this. You would have written it like this in primary school. You would have taken the top answer, so you write the top answer first. 161 over 40. This means divide, so we're going to write our divide like this instead. And then we're going to put 5 on 3. So remember in primary school they said, well, when you write it like this, the divide will change to a multiply, and the fraction after the divide sign, you flip it. The one after the divide sign, I've seen a lot of students flip this one by mistake. It's the one after the divide sign. So let's do that. Let's change this divide to a multiply. And we're going to flip this guy. So instead of 5 on 3, guess what? We're going to get 3 on 5. Now I believe here that nothing, usually in a lot of questions, something from the underneath will be able to go in a certain amount of times on the number on top. But I don't see how this can simplify. 5 cannot go into 161, 3 cannot go into 40. So we have no choice but just to multiply it out. How do you multiply fractions? You just multiply the top by the top and the underneath by the underneath. 161 multiplied by 3, 161 multiplied by 3 is 483, and 40 by 5 is 200. If we were to convert this to a mixed fraction, 200 into 483 would be 2 remainder 83 over 200. All right? So this is how you go about a question where there's a top and there's an underneath. All right, let's try another question. It's going to keep getting harder and harder and harder. All right. I'm really sorry about the writing and the lighting, sorry, in this question. I'm not usually using my normal studio, which is really my classroom. I'm actually home making this video. So let's try another question. Okay, let's make it a little bit harder. 3. Let's say we have 5 and 1/3 minus 6 and 3/7 divided by 1 and 2/5 minus 1 and 3/8. Let's make this 4/5. All right, let's try this question. This question clearly has a top part and an underneath part. The top part, I'm going to simplify it over here, and the underneath part, I'm going to simplify it over here. All right, so let's write back the top part here, but I'm not going to be working with improper, with mixed fractions. I'm working with improper fractions. So remember, I'm making up these questions on the spot. So some of these numbers are going to be really nasty, right? They're going to be really big, but that's all right. You have a calculator to help you. So 5 by 3 is 15 plus 1 is 16. So we get 16 on 3. 6 multiplied by 7 plus 3 is 45. So when we work this out, we're going to get 45, and we're going to divide it by 7. So let's simplify the top as much as we can. So the LCM of 3 and 7, I believe, is 21. Let's say you were having problems finding the LCM. Remember what I told you previously. Just multiply 3 by 7, you will get 21. 3 into 21 is 7. Take the 7 and multiply it by the 16. You're going to get 112 minus 7 into 21 is 3. 3 multiplied by 45 is 135. So we're going to minus the top. 112 minus 135. You notice we got a negative number on top, and we still have to divide it by 21. There's nothing wrong with getting a negative number in a fractions question. It's actually pretty normal. So this is what we get for the top part. When we work out the top part, I should already put it in green. Trying to color code it here. When you work out the top part, we get minus 23 on 21. Let's work out the underneath now. Of course, I'm not working with mixed fractions. I'm not. I'm going to work with improper fractions. 1 by 5 is 5, plus 4 is 9. So it's 9 on 5 minus 1 by 8 is 8, plus 3 is 11 on 8. LCM is 40, right? 5 by 8 is 40. 5 into 40 is 8. You take 8 and multiply it by 9. 72 minus 8 into 40 is 5. 5 by 11 is 55. So 72 minus 55, right? You're going to get 17, and we still have to divide it by 40. So when we work out the underneath, we get 17 divided by 40. Great. So we have the top, we have the underneath. What we're going to do now is divide the top by the underneath. So we're going to write it like how they usually write it in primary school. Minus 23 on 21 divide by 17 on 40. 17 on 40. You know what's going to happen here. The divide is going to change to a multiply, and I'm going to flip it. So the 40 will jump on top, the 17 will go underneath. 40 and 17. I'm really not too sure if anything can cancel out here. Just double checking. Nope, there's nothing that can cancel out here. Nothing that I'm seeing. So you're just going to multiply the top by the top and the underneath by the underneath. Okay? So 23. Remember, this is negative 23 multiplied by 40 will give me negative 920. When you multiply a negative by a positive, you get a negative. And 21 multiplied by 17 will give me 357. If you were to convert this to a mixed fraction, right, and just double check, checking something here, right, you're going to get minus 2 and 206 divided by 357. I'm just double checking it. 2 multiplied by 357 plus 206. Yep. Now, a lot of people, whenever you have to convert a negative mixed fraction into an improper fraction, a lot of people take the minus 2 and multiply by the 357, which will give you a negative number, and then add the top number. You will not get the correct answer. When you see a negative mixed number, just ignore the negative sign. Find 2 by normal, 2 by 357, and then you add the top. And you convert it as a normal from an improper to a mix. Sorry, from a mix to an improper. And when you are finished, just put back the negative sign. Okay? So when you're converting a negative mixed number to an improper fraction, ignore the negative, and at the end of the question, just put back the negative. Okay? I've seen it happen a couple times. I've seen students do it a couple times. So let's try some with brackets now. Okay? If I was setting an exam I would bring brackets into my fractions, right? Brackets are just the type of questions I look for when I'm setting an exam, right? So I'm just checking the timer here. It's only 15 minutes, right? So this is question number 4, right? So for here's the top. All right, let's put 1 here. 3 by 1 and multiply by 1.5 plus 2 and 1/3. That's on top. And underneath, I'm going to put minus 2/5 in the brackets. 3 minus 4 and 3/5. Let's try this one. Okay, first things first. There's a top, there's an underneath. So write this down. I'm going to make some changes to this question right on the spot. So take it down. Here's the thing. You'll notice this question has a mixture of fractions, but it also has what? Whole numbers. I don't like working with whole numbers and fractions. Whenever you have a mixture of whole numbers and fractions, convert every single number into a fraction. How do you do that? Did you all know that if I have the number 7, the number 7 is not a fraction? I know that, you know that. But you can convert 7 to a fraction by dividing it by 1. It's a useful technique because 7 divided by 1 is still 7, because when you divide anything by 1, you get back itself. But it's a useful tool when you need to change a whole number into a fraction. And I'm going to implement this here. So here I have 3. 3 is not a fraction, but I know 3 is the same thing as 3 on 1. Great. This 3 here is also 3 on 1. Great. Here's our next problem I see a lot of students face in maths. Let's say you have 3/4 and a minus sign smack in the middle. Because I know the minus sign belongs to the whole thing, but to make our calculations easier, pretend the minus sign is the light and let it float up to the top. So put it as it belongs to the 3. So the 3 is negative and the 4 is positive. Don't worry, a negative divided by a positive will give you back a negative. Okay? We are just, anytime you have something smack in the middle in maths of a fraction, always pretend it's light and let it float up to the top. That's another useful tool in maths. Great. So this minus sign, it's smack in the middle, let it float up to the top. It will make your calculations a lot easier. Okay, let's get rid of these mixed fractions. They are going to cause a problem in my opinion. So 1 by 2 is 2 plus 1 is 3. We are going to get 3 on 2. 2 by 3 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So we're going to get 7 on 3. 4 by 5 is 20. 20 plus 3 is 23. Right? I believe it was a 5 here, right? 4 by 5 is, sorry, but yeah. So far, I'm correct. So there are a couple of ways to do this question. Here's the 2 ways. You can, well, obviously we're going to pay attention to the top first. So some people might add this first. So they will take this and add it to this. You'll get one fraction and then multiply by the fraction outside. Or remember what brackets mean? Brackets means that everyone inside the brackets gets multiplied by the item outside. So you can multiply both of them by 3 on 1 first. Get one answer here, and then add it. You'll get the same answer, but here's what. I'm going to stick to the basic way, the way I grew up doing it. I'm going to work out this bracket first. And when I get this answer, then I will multiply it by 3 on 1. So let's do that. Let's work out this first. 3 on 2 plus 7 on 3. The LCM is 6. 2 into 6 is 3. 3 by 3 is 9, plus 3 into 6 is 2, 2 by 7 is 14. So 9 plus 14 will give us 23 on 6. But that's just this. I only worked out the brackets. We still have to multiply by 3 on 1. So that 23 on 6, we still have to multiply it by 3 on 1. So we're going to multiply the top by the top, the underneath by the underneath. So 3 by 23, I must clear my calculator, 3 multiplied by 23 is 69, and 1 multiplied by 6 is 6. So we have just simplified the whole top. When we simplify the whole top, we get 69 divided by 6. Guess what we're going to do now? For the underneath, we're going to work out these two guys first. So we're going to squish them together and get one answer. Then we're going to multiply by -2 on 5. So let's repeat what just went on top. I know it's a little bit tedious and long, but work with me and the question will be over like that. All right. 3 on 1 minus 23 on 5. That's this here. The LCM of 1 and 5 is 5. 1 multiplied by 5 is 5. Just in case you could not find the LCM or something that would work as well as the LCM. 1 by 1 into 5 is 5. 5 by 3 is 15. Right. 5 into 5 is 1. 1 by 23 is 23. Okay. Let's work this out. 15 minus 23. 15 minus 23. We got a negative number. -8 on 5. So we still are not finished. We still have to take this and multiply it by -2 on 5. -8 on 5. And we still have to multiply it by -2 on 5. Notice the minus sign is on top. So when we're multiplying, it's the top for the top, the underneath for the underneath. I'll do the signs after. 2 by 8 is 16. 2 negatives make a positive. I'm not going to put the positive. And 5 by 5 is 25. So when we work out the whole underneath, we get 16 divided by 25. Okay, so back to the basics now. What we've been doing in the other questions, we're going to take the top and divide it by the underneath. So it's 69 over 6 divided by 16 on 25. We know from primary school, the divide will change to a multiply. The 25 will go on top, and the 16 goes underneath. Once again, I don't see anything that can cancel off. Remember, these are just made up questions, but it doesn't matter the numbers. The techniques are the same. So 69 multiplied by 25 will give me 1725, and 6 multiplied by 16 will give me 96. So let's see if we were to convert this to a mixed fraction, right? We're going to get 17. That's our. And 93 over 96, right? I just use my calculator to do it in a shortcut method. But in the CXC examinations, the numbers are going to be way simpler than this. You're not going to get 17, 25, and 96 and ask to divide that. The numbers are going to be way simpler, all right? But the technique is the same. All right, so let's do some harder questions now. So far, everything we've been doing has numbers in it. But what about letters? You can ask to simplify fractions that have letters involved in them. Nothing is wrong with that. Perfectly okay. Right? So what's the time? 25 minutes. All right. Question number 5. All right. So I hope everything is making sense so far. All right. When I edit the video, I'm going to try my best to put up the lighting so it doesn't look so dark. All right. Just to let you know, a lot of my videos, will be filmed in this type of lighting for a little while. Right? All right. So question number 5. We're going to simplify some letters now. Let's say you have 4p plus, let's call it x minus 1 on 2. Let's make it interesting. 5. Let's say you were asked to simplify that fraction. You notice in addition to numbers, there are some letters present. So when you're adding or minusing fractions, well, the first thing to do is find the LCM. But you are accustomed finding the LCM of numbers. You are not accustomed finding the LCM of letters and numbers in combined. So remember what I told you earlier. If you cannot find the LCM and you're having problems finding it, all you need to do is take the two denominators and multiply them. So you're just going to take p and multiply it by 2x. Leave it separate for the time being. Let me show you the advantage of doing this. When you have to say p into this, it always leaves you with the other item. So p into this, the p matches up with the p, so it will leave you with the 2x. Remember, whatever you are left with, you have to multiply it by the top. So p into this expression leaves you with the other item, which is 2x. 2x multiplied by 4 is 8x. So let's do the other one now. 2x into this expression, the 2x matches up with the 2x, so it leaves you with the other item. Whatever you are left with, you multiply by the entire top. Not just the first person or the second person, the entire top. So I'm going to put plus and put x minus 5 and put it in brackets. And we're going to multiply that whole top by p. Very important. Do not write it like this, please. This indicates to the examiner that you are planning to only multiply the first person on the top, which is an x, by the p. And you have forgotten to multiply the 5 by the p also. You need to put it in brackets. So let's simplify this expression now. So we have 8x here. Everyone inside the brackets gets multiplied by p. So p by x is px, and p by minus 5 is minus 5p. Divided, well, p multiplied by 2x is 2xp or 2px, anyhow you want to write it. Right? This is as simple as this expression will get. He has an x, but he has a p and an x, and he only has a p. All of these items are different. So that's our final answer for this particular simplification fraction question. All right, let's try another question. Question 6. Okay. Right, I want to use some more letters here again. Here's a nice trick question. 5 divided by x minus 2x minus 5 divided by, let's put 2y. Okay. In this question, I'm going to do something wrong on purpose. So you can learn from the mistake, and then I'll show you the correct thing. So let's find the LCM here. Okay. Strange situation, x and 2y. So just put x multiplied by 2y. That's the best we can do in finding the LCM there. So we have to say this into this expression. It will leave us with something, and we multiply the top by that something. Then we say 2y into this expression, and whatever we are left with, we multiply it by the whole top. So let's go. X into this. The x matches up with this, so we're going to get 2y. Take whatever we are left with, which is 2y, and multiply by 5. So 2y by 5 is 10y, right? So 2y into this expression is x. We're going to take this and multiply by the whole top, right? Now let's say we plan to do this in our head. I'm going to take this whole thing and multiply by x. Now I know what you're saying. You already know the trick. You probably thought I meant that you would only multiply the first item by x. So let's do that. Let's do the correcting based on what I previously did. I'm going to take the x and multiply by the 2x. So this is the minus sign here, right? 2x by x is 2x squared, and x by minus 5 is minus 5x. We would get this wrong. That is still wrong. You notice I have a minus sign here and a minus sign. Here's the correct thing to do. All right. Remember, this into this leaves you with x. So we bring down this minus sign. We put the x here. That's what we're left with. And we have to multiply this whole thing by x. But remember, we have to put the whole thing in brackets, which makes a huge difference. Okay, so let's simplify this. We have 10y. Remember, this is not x, this is minus x. This minus sign belongs to the x. Everybody inside here gets multiplied by minus x. Minus x by 2x is minus 2x squared, but minus x multiplied by minus 5 is positive 5. And this whole thing gets divided by, well, x multiplied by 2y is 2xy, or like I said, 2yx. You notice we have a positive sign here. In the previous working, we had a negative sign. The top is as simple as it will get. The underneath is as simple as it will get. All right. So that's 6 examples so far on fractions. Okay. Let's try a really hard one. Let's try a really hard one. Question 7. 3. I'm going to try to put as much tricks in this as possible. 4/5 minus 3 1/3. Underneath, it's going to be 4, you're seeing correct there, by 2 1/4, and in brackets, I am going to put minus 3, let's put minus 3/5 outside there. Whoa, this could be a handful. Okay. All right. So once again, we have a top and we have an underneath. So guess what? We're going to deal with the top first. I'll put it over here. Then I'm going to deal with the underneath and put it over there. So I don't like mixed fractions. So we have a mixed fraction here. Let's change this up one time. By the way, pause the video, write this down. I'm going to make changes right here. 3 into 3 is, 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. 9 by 1 is, 9 plus 1 is 10, sorry. So we're going to get 10 on 3, right? 4/5 is fine. 3 is not a fraction. I don't like having a mixture of fractions and whole numbers. But we all know 3 is the same thing as 3 on 1. Good. This minus sign is smack in the middle. I suggest you place it to the top. Let it belong to the 3, just for calculation purposes. Mixed, mix. 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. So we have 9 on 2. 2 by 4 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. So we have 9 on 4. Okay. Right. I think everyone is fixed up here. I'm going to work out this, and whatever I get, I'm going to multiply by 3 on 1. Let's try that here. Work it in green. 4/5 minus 10 on 3. LCM is 15. 5 into 15 is 3. 3 by 4 is 12. 3 into 15 is 5. 5 by 10 is 50. Let's minus that. I have a good feeling we're going to get a negative number. Minus 38 divided by 15. Now remember, we have to take this and multiply it by 3. So minus 38 over 15, and outside we have 3 on 1 waiting. Right, but you will notice something can cancel out with something. 3 into 3 is 1, 3 into 15 is 5. So we end up with minus 38 divided by 5. So on top, we get minus 38 divided by 5. That's the top. Let's try the underneath now. Going to work out the brackets, and whatever we get, we're going to multiply by minus 3 on 5. Now you notice we have a divide here. So we have 9 on 2 divided, but we know when you have a divide, the divide will change to a multiply, and the item after will flip. So we're going to get 4 on 9. So let's do that one time. 2 into 2 is 1, 2 into 4 is 2, and the 2 9s will cancel out to give us 2 on 1. Great. Whatever we are left with, we have to multiply by the minus 3 on 5. So minus 3 by 2 is minus 6. 5 by 1 is 5. So the underneath gives us minus 6 on 5. And we still have to divide the top answer by the underneath answer. So let's do that. Minus 38 divided by 5, divide by minus 6 on 5. That's this guy here. So once again, this divide is going to change to a multiply, and the 5 will go on top, and the minus 6 will go underneath. Lucky for us, something can cancel out here. 5 will cancel out with the 5. I believe, well, the 2 negatives will, we're going to put the 1 here and the 1 here, right? 2 could go into this 3 times, and 2 can go into this 19 times. So on top, minus 19 multiplied by 1 is minus 19. 1 by, don't forget we have a minus 3 here, is minus 3. The 2 negatives will cancel out to give us a positive, and I have a good feeling that if we convert this to improper fraction, a mixed fraction, sorry, we're going to get 6 and 6 and 1/3. Alright, double checking it. 19 divided by 3. Yep, and this is our final answer. Alright guys, I really hope that this tutorial on fractions gave you a really good understanding of it. And of course, if you are from Trinidad and Tobago and you are interested in extra lessons, you can check out my website for my details, right? It's iLoveLessons.com. It has all my details, my address of my school and everything. Don't forget this S here, right? And of course, you can always give me a call on 712-2652 to sign up for classes if you're interested. We do maths on almost any subject you can think of. All right, guys, take care and good luck in your exams.